The Netherlands are perhaps the epitome of the nearly men. They lost consecutive World Cup finals in 1974 and 1978 and would lose a third in 2010. But in 1988, with the likes of Marco Van Basten, Ruud Gullit and Frank Rijkaard in their side, under the management of Rinus Michels, they had the chance to finally put aside their bad luck and claim some silverware. This is a story of Euro 88, the year of the Dutch. In 1986, Rinus Michels was appointed manager of the Netherlands for the third time. He was the man who led them to their first World Cup final in 1974, where they lost to their rivals, West Germany. Whilst Michels had failed to deliver on the international stage, his influence was immense. His brand of total football had won him league titles with both Ajax and Barcelona, as well as the European Cup with the Dutch side in 1971. The Netherlands, since losing their second consecutive World Cup final in 1978, had been stuck in a wilderness. They failed to qualify for the 1982 and 1986 World Cups, and missed out on the 1984 Euros. But the future was beginning to look bright for the Dutch. A second golden generation was brewing. The trio of Ruud Gullit, Marco Van Basten and Frank Rijkaard helped put the Dutch back on the map. Alongside these players, they also had the likes of Ronald Koeman, Jan Wouters and Hans van Breuluken. Rinus Michels was tempted out of retirement to coach his nation, feeling he had unfinished business on the international stage that these players could help him fulfill. The Dutch had scored 15 and only conceded 1 in their qualification campaign. They travelled to West Germany for the tournament filled with confidence. Their opening fixture would be against the Soviet Union. But things did not go to plan at all. With Marco Van Basten on the bench injured, a goal from Vasil Rats gave the Soviet Union a 1-0 win. If the Dutch wanted to win the tournament, they were not going about it the right way. The Netherlands' second fixture would be against Bobby Robson's England. England had been defeated by Jackie Charlton's Ireland side in their opening fixture, and so was somewhat underperforming. With Marco Van Basten returning, there was to be no defeat this time. Van Basten netted a hat-trick, and the Dutch came out 3-1 winners. Their final game against Ireland was crucial, and a late header from Willem Kieft sealed the 3 points and a spot in the semi-finals for the Netherlands. This is where the Dutch were to face a true test. The Netherlands would be up against West Germany. Having lost the World Cup final to West Germany 14 years before, it seemed to be the perfect opportunity to enact revenge on the Germans in their own backyard. The Dutch travelled to Hamburg with a taste for blood. Michels decided to put the total football tactics aside to focus on a more physical game to outwit the Germans. The physical tactics would backfire though in the 55th minute. Frank Rijkaard brought down Jurgen Klinsmann in the box and a referee pointed to the spot. Lothar Matthäus curled the penalty into the corner to put West Germany ahead. In the 74th minute, Van Basten himself was brought down in the box, and this time it was a penalty to the Netherlands. Ronald Koeman stepped up and placed his penalty into the corner. The Dutch were level. With the game seemingly headed for extra time, all the game needed was one moment to change everything. In the 88th minute, Jan Wouters played a pass through for Van Basten. With a defender on him, Van Basten slid to stretch and get a touch on the ball. It trickled past the goalkeeper and into the corner to put the Dutch 2-1 up. Full time went soon after, sparking jubilant scenes. Over 9 million people were reported to have taken to the streets in the Netherlands to celebrate, the largest outdoor congregation since the country was liberated after the Second World War. Ronald Koeman swapped shirts with a German player before mimicking the act of wiping his backside with it. After the players went out celebrating, Michels said to them, "Lads, I hope you had a wonderful night, but do me a favour. Is there a possibility that for the first time in Dutch history, with the Dutch national team, that we can win a final?" The Netherlands would face a rematch against the Soviet Union in the final. It would take place at the Olympic Stadium in Munich, where the Dutch had lost the World Cup final 14 years before. In the 32nd minute, Erwin Koeman looped a ball into the box, where Van Basten was lurking. He headed it across goal, towards Ruud Gullit. Gullit headed the ball in, and the Dutch had the lead. The game went to half-time with the Dutch 1-0 ahead. The Netherlands had 45 minutes to finally win themselves some silverware. And what they did next is one of the most iconic moments in the history of football. Anrold Muren looped a long ball towards Van Basten at the back post. Van Basten was at a tight angle on the edge of the area. As the ball looped to him, Van Basten met the ball with his right foot. It looped its way towards the goal and landed in the net from an impossible angle. Rinus Michels held his head in his hands in shock. Marco Van Basten had scored one of the all-time great goals to put the Dutch 2-0 ahead. Goalkeeper Hans van Breukelen would give away a penalty, but quickly made amends by saving it. It appeared for once that the sun was shining on the clockwork orange. The final whistle would soon sound, and the Dutch finally tasted glory. Having boasted so many incredible players and changing the game so much, they finally had something to show for it. Ruud Gullit lifted the trophy high, the first, and to date only senior Dutch captain to lift a major honour for his country. Euro 1988 was the golden hour for Dutch football. Having come so agonisingly close to glory in the past, they finally crossed the finish line to take the trophy back to Amsterdam. Rinus Michels, one of the greatest coaches of all time, finally had an international honour for all his influence. Whilst the Dutch are still yet to win a World Cup, their 1988 side are enshrined in footballing legends. Their slick, total football, combined with Van Basten's magic, and what many consider the greatest goal ever scored, helped them finally get one over their demons, and cement themselves as one of the greatest sides international football has ever seen.